Welcome to Showtime All the Time, podcast number 4. I'm Dennis Bickmeyer, the Executive Director of the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority. And today we welcome in Candy Cage, who is the Associate Commissioner for Women's Basketball of the Atlantic 10 Conference. And we've been working with Candy and her team as we prepare for the upcoming Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championships, March 6th through the 10th. Candy, welcome to Showtime All the Time.
Dennis, super excited to be here, and working with your team up until this point has been amazing. So thank you guys for having me.
Well, and it's been fun as we get on this road here to the championship. So I want to jump right into the championship. So give us kind of the state of A-10 women's basketball. Where are we here? In February, we're about a month out from the tournament. What's it looking like in the conference?
Dennis, good place to start. We are so excited about bringing these teams to this area. Right now, A-10 women's basketball, the teams that we have and the coaches are phenomenal. It is anybody's race going in at this point. I couldn't tell you the parity in this league, the talent from top to bottom, and I might as well go ahead and put it out there. We have a couple local teams that are rolling in Richmond and VCU, which isn't going to hurt as we get closer to the championship. But A-10 women's basketball is as strong as it's ever been. And I think anybody that loves sports in general, and if you're a college basketball fan, you are not going to want to miss this action.
Well, and it's great, and I was able to catch the VCU U of R women's game when they played at U of R recently, and it was fantastic to watch, and I think they'll be running that game back here again pretty soon. I think those two teams will be matching up again here soon, but so all 15 teams in the league, right, will descend upon the new Henrico Sports and Event Center. So two things there. So talk to us about the Sports and Event Center, new venue for you guys, obviously brand new for us, couple months in. So there's that part, but then also about the format of the tournament. We got like 5 days of action on the court, so we're excited to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, there's something for everybody, no matter what you do or where your kids are, etc. We roll in on a Wednesday, March 6th, and we have games Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leading up to Championship Sunday, 4 o'clock. ESPN2, and like I said, at this point, Dennis, it's anybody's race. We have day games, evening sessions, so you can buy different packages if you can't be there all day and night. We're super excited to partner with the local schools for our education days. The kids come in, they love the mascots, they love the bands. It gives the teachers a break because kids are nuts anyway, so you can put them on a bus and they can yell and scream and really get to see some great college basketball. We also want to partner with the community and recognize all the heroes in this area: the police, the firemen, the paramedics, obviously the teachers, all of the above. And we're just excited. This venue is beautiful. For our coaches and student athletes that haven't seen the new center, I mean, they're just going to be overwhelmed. It is awesome. And everything we've done with you guys so far, partnering with you and you guys embracing the A-10 Women's Basketball Championship, it seems like it's going to be a really good fit, and I hope it's going to be a fit for like years to come. But we need the fans to come out. But once they see the product, they're going to put this date on their calendar every year.
Well, that's a great transition because I want to remind everyone, go to Atlantic10.com, check out all the tournament information, but that's the place to go buy your tickets. So go grab up those tickets. Tickets are available for as low as $15. We have some youth pricing, some senior pricing. Come, catch all this great basketball action. And you touched on it a little bit, but I want to go a little bit deeper about the atmosphere and what we're trying to create, not just in the building, but around the community as well. So anyone that's listening, in addition to buying a ticket, if you own a business, if you have some way to help us promote this tournament, from the time they arrive at the airport or for those that bus in and their hotels, talk a little bit about that student-athlete experience that's so important to you guys and to these athletes.
Yeah, thanks for that lead in, Dennis. That's one of the biggest objectives. Great experience for our student-athletes. They're in the grind. They work every day. They're just kind of grinding it out for the championship. And one of the reasons why we landed here, besides the new building, was kind of the fact that we kind of sense this community embracing. So from the time our teams land, because we have 15 universities that are members of the A-10, and they're coming in from all over the place, we think it's going to be a great partnership because we want our student athletes to really, when they show up in Henrico, they're going to know that the community knows the A-10 Women's Basketball Championship is here, and we think that's really important. And I'm telling you, once you see the talent, you are going to be a fan. And I think certain teams are going to, some of the kids are going to just pick a team. It could be because of a mascot. It could be because of one of our fantastic players. But I think it's going to be a good partnership. And I know that, like I said, the product that your community is going to see on the floor is really a high level. I think you guys are ready to embrace us, and we're hoping we can put on a good show and really just continue to build this partnership.
Well, we're looking forward to that, as I said, and obviously for the teams too. What's that prize at the end of the tournament on Championship Sunday? What's awaiting for the winner of this tournament?
Well, obviously from the school standpoint and the A-10, we get an automatic qualifier for the NCAA tournament. At this point, we have 6 teams that are really, really good. So, even if you make a deep run, we're thinking we could get we're definitely an at-large. So the NCAA is like the prize at the end. But we have other teams that when they showcase and make a deep run into the tournament, obviously there's postseason play for them. I think from the student athlete standpoint, bringing home that trophy and having that back on their campuses, that is a huge, hard-earned, prideful thing to take back. And then probably the part that your facilities people don't like, but our student athletes love, whoever wins it, when all that confetti comes flying out onto the court and everybody is bananas, the hats and the gear, it's a great moment. So it's tough to get there, though. Like I said, from 1 to 15 in this conference, anybody can get you on any given night. And some of that's just a credit to our outstanding coaches and outstanding student athletes.
I think I'll take a little bit of cleanup for that excitement that's generated, when the team wins and cuts down the nets and all that. It is a tremendous atmosphere, and to know that you live to play another day. You're going on to the NCAA tournament. So again, just from where we sit and with our partners at Richmond Region Tourism and everything that we're trying to create here in our community is to bring that sense of March Madness right here, to this tournament. I mean, this is. The calendar flips to March, you hear that phrase all the time, March Madness, the conference tournaments kick in and away we go. So and we're headed down this path too that I definitely wanted to make sure we touched on, just kind of given your career in coaching, former head coach at Loyola University of Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Associate head coach at Georgia Tech, had some time at Mount St. Mary's. So kind of a lifer in basketball here for the most part. So with that, I want you to talk a little bit about this amazing trajectory that women's college basketball is on. I see it in viewership. I see it in arenas when I'm watching on TV. I saw when I went to the U of R VCU game. Talk about where do you see women's college basketball right now?
I mean, Dennis, it is, if you are not a fan, you are missing it. It is the hottest, fastest growing sport in the country next to women's volleyball. Get that in there. Women's basketball is so kid friendly and fan friendly, and our student athletes they're amazing people in the classroom and in their community. So tremendous role models. Women's basketball television numbers have exceeded and continue to just outgrow. I know you've got that connection, that Buckeye fan, I know that about you. And I want to talk about nothing but A-10, but there was a game like 2 weeks ago.
Watched it. I watched the whole thing.
19,800 people, and the TV ratings for a women's college basketball game exceeded all of the NFL games for that weekend. So if you haven't experienced women's college basketball, and at a high level like the A-10, you're missing out. So we want you to come out. It is more of the games are being on TV. And I think it's to the point where it's going to continue to grow, and there's probably revenue sharing, and we're going further and further towards that. And just means more is at stake, and getting to the NCAA tournament. It's a lot of pressure, but it keeps it really exciting. Women's sports in general are just taking off.
Yeah.
And anybody that hasn't seen it, and you mentioned tickets. it's between the bands and the mascots and the talent on the floor and the dynamic coaches and concessions and fun, games that are going on the sideline. For the tickets, it's such a great price and night out for your family. It's just all the way around. It's just something you want to be a part of.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think just the value that we can deliver for your experience. Again, when you come to the A-10 championship, you mentioned there's a fan zone area. There's everything that we're going to be doing just to keep people entertained when the games are happening. So
yeah, we need them to come though, Dennis.
That's right.
We still need back to that, the student athlete experience, and for Enrico and all of your hardworking people. We need people to come to the championship, and we won't let you down. So go buy some tickets.
That's for sure. We're going to keep plugging that. Atlantic10.com. Go get your tickets. So just staying on again, kind of where women's college basketball is, and then obviously you talked about where the A-10 is this season. You talk about the landscape of women's college basketball. Where do you see the A-10 future? Because again, we got you back next year. You mentioned we'd love to have a long-term partnership, and again, we've got the venue for it now. So where's A-10 women's basketball going? Even next couple of years.
Yeah, that's a great question. It does start with what we're doing now. We have 6 teams right now that have highest winning percentages in the whole country. So the more talent, the more wins, the higher the recruiting level is, and the more opportunities we have to go to the NCAA championship, more exposure. And then it's a circle. So people come, they see it, student athletes get excited, you win, your recruits, the talent is elevated. People start talking about the A-10 and what a great conference it is, and then they want to come and be a part of it. So we want the A-10 to continue to increase our number of postseason bids, and that's obviously the long-term objective. But we want the A-10 to continue to brand itself and where student athletes at a high level, because all of our institutions are really outstanding academic institutions. And we do spend a lot of time on the student athlete experience. So it's not just go win games, but we want you to go win games. And we want you to get to postseason. So we think the sky's the limit. We think the A-10, in terms of branding ourselves, besides like a Power 5, we're where you want to play. And the sky's the limit. If that sounds a little corny, I mean it though. It's people are talking about the A-10. When I'm on the calls with the NCAA and I'm talking to the media people, they're like, Candy, wow, your teams are rolling. I'm like, yes, they are. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but we're rolling. We've got some great teams. And so that's what you want. You want people talking A-10 women's basketball. So,
and you need a good hype person.
Yeah.
So there you go. And again, too, I love the footprint of the A-10. Obviously, where we're located, we're easy to get to, excuse me. So we're easy to get to. So anyone that's listening, throughout the A-10 footprint, come see us, come check us out. Airport, train, I-95, I-64. You can get here pretty easily. We got great hotels, all that stuff that you want from a couple of day, week-long experience when you're coming as a fan to a sporting event as well. It's the action that you're going to go see, but it's what else can you do off the away from the arena. We have a lot here in our market as well. Hotel, hospitality industry, they really embrace what we do. A lot of attractions around.
We're feeling that. I think I've heard there's some pretty outstanding breweries.
Yes.
Not for Kids Day, but for the adults, and the hotels are rolling out and wanting us to come. And the venue is, it's easy to get in and out of, and there's great parking. That's a plus. That's a plus, everybody. Easy to get in and out of this arena. So super excited about that.
Well, and again, as we get close to wrapping up here, I just wanted to, on behalf of our team, thank you guys for seeing the vision that we had and giving us the opportunity to host this championship. Tell a quick story here. We went down to Florida for the league meetings with some pretty pictures of a building that was under construction and a story to tell. And again, appreciate the commissioner and the A-10 staff and the coaches and the ADs and just everyone buying in to that story and to that vision. And we certainly know that it's a team effort working with you guys, and look forward to delivering for the A-10.
Yeah, well, Dennis, I got I know you got a lot of swag, but got a little A-10 swag for you.
Thank you. I'll wear it proudly.
And it is Friday. It's the weekend. Got a little koozie action. A-10 Women's Basketball Championship with Henrico Sports and Event Center for your people. It's Friday. A little notepad maybe for Dawn. Wow. Who knows? A little A-10. But we're ready to go. We're excited.
Loading me up here. This is fantastic. So one thing that is a tradition here is, again, a little show and tell type of thing. So something personal or from your professional career that means a lot to you, a piece of sports memorabilia, something that you hold on to, something from your coaching days. What do you have that,
wow.
what comes to mind that makes you, you look back in your career and like, I keep this on my desk because, or I keep this in my home because?
Oh, it's so tough when you're old like me, Dennis. You've been around, you've done, you've coached at different places, and you've kind of been an administrator, and there's so many things. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad was an ACC official, so I kind of grew up in the house, and we grew up on in the gyms, and I'll always remember just great times like traveling around with teams and officials as a kid, and probably one of the reasons why I got into this. But as a coach, it's always your student athletes. Like I'll share one story just quickly. I had a player at Georgia Tech. She could be president of the United States right now. She's way smarter than me. Anyway, her senior year, instead of just a hug, thank you, coach, she wanted to do something special for each member of our staff. And I'm a huge golf fan. I play, I like it. I'm not great, but I'm fast. I hit the ball straight. So, people will have me around. But anyway, she came into my office. She said, Coach Cage, I want to thank you. Who does that anymore? You've been great. Thank you for coaching me for 4 years. And you and I are going to the final round of the Masters on Sunday. And I still have like the gear and that was a really cool moment. It's always the student athletes, they invite you back for their weddings and they have kids and they tell stories. So those are fun. And then last thing, I'm a Dolphins fan. I know that's tragic, but we were better this year. And I did get on the field back in the glory days with Dan Marino and when Don Shula went on a run, and good memories of that. I love that too. So
that's fantastic. Well, I mentioned that. Thank you for sharing that, by the way, as well. I mentioned that trip to Florida. We went down there to pitch the A-10 on bringing the championship.
Look at that.
So
they rock a bucket hat.
They rolled out some bucket hats for everybody in attendance. So and we got some for the staff. So we all have these in our offices.
Not everybody can rock the bucket hat. You look good.
I like it. Thank you. And then just to, I always try to connect something back from my career with our guests. So I had a little run for about 4 years or so in a college conference office, the Big West Conference out on the West Coast. So in my home, I've saved like all my credentials for years and years and years, and pins. So, so the Big West, and then we changed our logo at one point, and it was probably hard to see on the podcast. But talking NCAA, I had the opportunity to work some NCAA Final Fours.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, we hosted a first and second round at a new arena in Anaheim. So, the NCAA is big on issuing pins too. And I appreciate these pins a lot more than those big, bulky credentials and everything. So I've got hundreds of pins in a collection that I have up on the wall, but I thought I'd bring you some of my NCAA pins and everything.
I didn't know that. I have an A-10 pin for you in my bag.
Is that right? Well,
if you'll humble me and take it.
Absolutely. I'll wear it during championship week here in Henrico County. So I look at these pins proudly, just like all those credentials that we all get and keep. And like I said, it brings back a lot of memories
really cool.
from when you're like you, when you're couple decades into this thing, 3 decades into this thing, you got a lot of memories. So we are going to get ready to wrap up here and just thank everyone for tuning in. But again, on behalf of our team, the Showtime All the Time mug is for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we give our guests a gift as well. And thank you for joining us. And I want to remind everyone, again, Atlantic10.com for your ticket and tournament information. Go buy those tickets. Come see some incredible basketball. March 6th through the 10th, Henrico Sports and Events Center, right here in your own backyard. So come watch some great action. I'll give you the last word. What's that last pitch for everyone to come check out some A-10 women's basketball.
Go A-10. Let's go, people. Buy some tickets and get in the seats. Let's go.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Showtime all the time, podcast number 4. Take care.